I was a victim. He made me into a witness, but then made my husband register as a sex offender, and then said that I am his victim. So if I was his victim, then how come nobody had ever notified me that I was his victim ever since the case of him that the case had ever started?
So in our computer system, when you look up a list of who the parties are in a case, it has you listed in there as a witness, not as a victim.
That's
not. I'm going to try and pull up the document here really quick.
That's not what the judgment says on my husband's. When he signed the no contest plea, it specifically specifies that I am his victim, and his probation officer has even said I am his victim, not witness. So I'm a little bit upset about that, because with the conversation that we had, he says I was a witness, but then comes to turn around, he said that I'm a victim. And from my understanding, he is not a compeller, and I'm not under the age of 18, and that's to me kind of wrong, because at the end of the day, every single one of my victim rights has been violated, because if I'm a victim to a sex offender, then no one has ever notified me as being an advocate, and you yourself don't count as being my advocate because you wasn't with me the whole entire time of the criminal case. Like I told Douglas Hanson, I've been a vulnerable victim to a pimping and pandering case, so whatever he thinks that he's doing slickly is not going to fly, because at the end of the day, if you're saying that I'm his victim and made him into a sex offender, because a sex offender cannot be a sex offender without having a victim. So now that I know that he, on the paperwork from Marion County, that I am listed as a victim, then at the end of the day, you guys are wrong, because you guys never notified me of being a victim ever since the criminal case has started, and that's a violation of my supposed victim rights.
Well, let me look through the court document if I can and see if I can find the judgment and what it says in there. So let me pull this up to make sure that I have the correct information in front of me. Okay, let's see here.
Because being a victim and a witness is two different things. It's two different roles.
Well, that's true, and, a victim can also be a witness, as in they are someone that might have to come to testify in court and that kind of thing. And even though sometimes when people are technically listed as a witness and not a victim, we may still provide services to them similar that we would to a victim, like me reaching out to you, to notify you about something going on with the court, or setting up an arrangement, meeting with the DA or something like that.
But none of that has happened, because, like I said, if I didn't call Marion County's victim assistance to figure out why my husband and I had a no contact order, nobody from the victim assistance line in Marion County has ever contacted me to inform me that I was a victim. And one thing I do know, as being a victim prior, there's an advocate that's helping me follow this criminal case and having me informed of what was going on through the whole entire time of his case. And nobody had did that until I called, and then you called the district attorney to find out some information on my behalf. Other than that, you wasn't my advocate, and nobody else was my victim's advocate. And if I could recall, Douglas Hanson said that I was a partial victim. But how can you be a partial victim? You're either a victim or you're not a victim. And when I found out that he listed me as a victim to my husband's case, I was very, very upset, because that's not what the conversation us three had over this conference. And then another thing that I was a little bit upset about is because I went to go grab transcripts from the whole entire case, since nobody had informed me of what was going on. How can the district attorney speak for me? Isn't that what the advocate is there for, to speak for me and have me be there and participate? Because when you're a victim to a crime, I shouldn't have to be excluded out of the criminal courts. I should be allowed to see what is going on and concurring of the events of the criminal case, and nobody has done that for me. So when he said that I was his victim, I was upset, and he had violated every single victim rights that I possibly had.
Okay. So we have a couple questions here, and so I want to address those kind of in order if I can. So let me try and answer through these questions, and then we can talk some more about if that brings up more questions for you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So our process for our office is if there is someone in our computer system who is listed as a victim, then that sort of triggers us to reach out to that victim and have contact. Or if a DA notifies us in some way that someone is listed as a victim. In this case, you were listed as a witness, not a victim. So that initially did not trigger us to have contact with you. Now, when you contacted me, then I kind of initiated that and followed up and tried to find out some more about what was going on with this case. But, I had been notified previously about, any involvement there. And frankly, I don't think we had any way to contact you in the beginning. So even if I had been notified that you were someone we needed to reach out to, I know there was an investigator from our office who had been trying to have contact with you to have you serve a subpoena, and they were having a really hard time getting a hold of you. So sometimes we have situations where there is someone who's listed as a victim, but we're unable to contact them for whatever reason because we just don't have the right contact information. And as soon as we get that information, then if there are things we need to notify you about, we'll definitely do that. As far as the DA speaking for you, the DA is not your personal lawyer. The DA represents the state of Oregon, and so they do have certain obligations when it comes to victim rights, but their job is to prosecute the case. They do have certain obligations to sort of speak for you if you invoke those rights, but again, this is a tricky one because I think technically you weren't listed as a victim. When I'm looking at the judgment here in front of me, it talks in there's a lot of standard conditions of probation that say things like not allowed to have contact with victim without prior approval, but your name is not entered in there as a victim. However, it is entered later on where it says defendant may have contact with Jessica Johnson, his children, and minor children within his extended family, which despite any other standard conditions as far as the registering as a sex offender or conditions of not being able to have contact with kids, this is an exception to that rule, and that's something that we specifically put in there because we knew that was a concern of yours and of your husband's, and the DA was fine with that exception.
But this is the thing, when you're a sex offender, when you commit a sexual crime on somebody, there's a victim to you being a sex offender. I've never known a sex offender to be able to supposedly commit a crime on a person and still have the rights to be around the person that the district attorney prosecuted and believes that if he thinks I'm a victim, why would he allow my husband to be back with me? That doesn't make sense. I thought he was supposed to prosecute bad people and protect the innocent.
Are you saying you don't want contact to be allowed with your husband?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if he's the district attorney, and as you heard many times, he believed that I was a victim. So if he believes that I'm a victim, why would he allow my husband to be around me if he felt that I was being victimized? Whether it was mentally, physically, promoting, whatever his biased opinion was, why did he allow that? Because I've never known sex offenders to commit a crime on somebody and still be allowed to be around their victim. That's not constitutionally.
Well, I don't know about it being constitutional or not.
It's not constitutionally right.
I know he has a certain amount of discretion in cases where he can make certain plea offers or negotiate things with the defense attorney.
But see, I'm listed.
Reach an agreement.
But I'm listed. You said that in the computer I'm listed as a witness. So if I'm listed as a witness, then why am I listed saying I'm a victim, but then he could be back around me? Like that's what I'm saying. It's very contradicting plea, because you're saying that you wanted him to register as a sex offender because you believe that I was a victim of him promoting me as a prostitute. So why would you allow him to be back with me if you felt that he promoted me as a prostitute? That doesn't make sense.
The reason he has to register as a sex offender is because the crime that he was convicted of is required to have a sex offender registration that goes with it. Doug couldn't decide that any differently. He has discretion about some things, but that's not one of them. And I remember him talking about that when we talked, that even if he wanted to say that he didn't have to register as a sex offender, he couldn't do that.
But this is the thing, though. He lied because in emails and stuff, his lawyer, Gail Ryder, specifically specified that if he took a no contest plea to the delivery of an oxycodone, he would drop the charges. To me, he has all the original charges, so there was no... He lied to me and said there was extensive plea offers when there wasn't. So at the end of the day, again, Douglas Hanson lied to a victim/witness because at the end of the day, you're supposed to inform me and let me know what is going on of the case. But instead, he lied and said there was extensive plea offers. But now that we're together and we see the evidence, it's like, well, wow, you really pretty much coerced us and railroaded him into taking something, and then he didn't do anything on his end. He said, oh, well, you'll drop a charge. You'll plead to no contest to delivery of an oxycodone, but then at last minute, everything he brings back promoting prostitution, registered as a sex offender, everything. That's kind of wrong. That's to pretty much not keeping up on his deal. And that's what he had told Gail Ryder, which Gail Ryder had informed my husband, which my husband was under the impression that he was going to have a no contest plea to a delivery of an oxycodone, and then now at the last minute it's a different story, and now I'm a partial victim, I'm a witness. It seems to me like the case was all over the place, and they was trying to keep me from certain information. And then on top of it, come to find out, Douglas Hanson wasn't even the district attorney that charged me for prostitution. So how in the hell did he get the information from my case to prosecute my husband? I don't know, but it's a little bit funny because at the end of the day, it's a very contradicting plea. You know, you could be around your wife, and you guys all keep giving me these little runabouts of the law, thinking that I don't know the law. It's like you guys are underestimating me, forgetting that I was, if he did his homework, he would have seen that I was a material witness from a prior pimp and pandering case. I was actually a vulnerable victim, and I have all that information because I went down to Multnomah County records and got all of that information to show that the difference between that case and this case, and what they did wrong and what they didn't did wrong. At the end of the day, if I was a witness or a victim, and if I'm listed in the system, you guys are still supposed to notify me and letting me know what was going on in the case, and nobody did. Period. Nobody informed me that I was a witness to his case. Nobody informed me that I was a partial victim. Douglas didn't even want to really hear what I have to say because he was obviously upset because I knew my rights and I knew the law, and he didn't like it. He still wanted to make me into this supposed victim, make me into a witness to be excluded from the court. I mean, at the end of the day, of course, I'm going to be a little bit upset and have some questions and kind of want to raise hell because I feel like he did certain things that was wrong. And I know he sits on the very high as the chairman of the Victims Domestic Violence too. So it's like everything that I have questions for, it all leads right back to Douglas Hanson's, which seems to me very fishy. Like I said in the conversation, there's some funny things going on. And I know there is. And you guys keep having me, oh, well, you know, you can be listed as a victim and then you can be as a witness, and then it's like you guys' story is really not collaborating the right way. And I know that. And no matter what you guys try to say, I know my rights as a supposed victim and witness. And at the end of the day, you guys are supposed to inform me. Who was my advocate then? Who was this person that was supposed to help me understand what was going on and let me know court dates and let me know everything? You guys, there wasn't any. So at the end of the day, Douglas Hanson was wrong. I don't care what you say or what he said. He was wrong because what he did was wrong. Nobody informed me. Nobody let me know. A whole different district attorney charged me, and now all of a sudden I'm a partial victim and witness to a crime of an innocent man. Now, and then the judgment, it says I'm a victim, then I'm not a victim. He could come stay with me. He can't. It's very contradicting. Very contradicting.
So Jessica, what can I do to help you now? What is it that I can do, or what would you like to see happen that I might be able to help you with?
Well, they pretty much abused Douglas Hanson abused the rights of me being a victim and / witness, because at the end of the day, nobody informed me. Why? If I was a witness to this case and a partial victim, why didn't anybody inform me from the beginning of this case? Because as a victim, a witness, you have an advocate speaking for you. And it seems to me you're a little agitated in me being precise on this because I know the rights. And if you're supposed to be an advocate to victims, why weren't you a part of this criminal case with me from the jump?
Well, I see where you're coming from, and I know that you have some experience in this before, and you know a lot of the information about how this stuff works.
Yes, I do, and he did not do it right. Period. He did not do this. He made me into a victim, like he says, because he supposedly believed I don't have any marital rights. I don't have any marital rights because of what? I'm a prostitute, whatever his belief is. At the end of the day, like I said, I've warned them. I've been through a case where I was actually a vulnerable victim, and it seems to me that Douglas Hanson took my prior case and passed and tried to make me into a victim again. So my main concern, like I keep saying, is why didn't I have a victim's advocate from the jump? I had one last case when I was dealing with the actual real gorilla type of pimp who beat me up and stuff. I had an advocate supporting me, counseling all throughout the criminal case. Why weren't you here from the jump? Why did it take me to contact you guys in order for me to have some type of voice? Because it seems to me like they took my voice away.
Well, I can't speak to what has happened in past cases with you or what might be other agencies' protocols, but what I can tell you is that when we have a victim advocate assigned to a case, it's when there's a listed victim and we know how to contact them, and we didn't have either of those circumstances in this case. And that's why you didn't have an advocate from the beginning.
But how does he not have contact information if he's supposedly trying to mind play me and say that, oh, he's the one that prosecuted me when he did it? I had my case summary, and he is not the prosecutor for my case. So
he's listed in our system as the prosecutor on your case.
But he's not. That's the thing that you guys fail to realize. I'm a lot smarter than you guys give me credit for. And I had went down there and I had my case summary for my prostitution charge on June 13th. And John H. Turner was the district attorney that prosecuted me. And he is suspended now because of his not paying his bar fees. I dug very...
Wait. John Turner?
Yes, it was my district...
Turner is retired. That's why he's not here anymore.
But he was here to prosecute me, is what you guys failing to understand.
He was probably in court that day because you pled guilty the first day you appeared in court. So even though Doug Hanson was listed in our computer as the person who was involved with the case, John Turner may have just been the one that was in court that day and listed on the judgment.
And then another thing, if Douglas Hanson has the information, when I went to court, he should have had all my information ready. Because if I'm going to court and signing out my information and my birth date and my address and all, how in the hell does he not have my information? And why is my information different?
Well, did your contact information change from June 13th, 2004 until about June 2015?
No, my information has still been the same. So I don't understand, how does he not have contact information? Because this is the thing. If he prosecuted me, you should have my contact information. So how do you not have my contact information? That's what I'm saying. He's lying. I'm not...
We had an address of 2062 Northeast 19th Street in Gresham.
But you know what's so funny? On my case summary, you guys have a different address. Why? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's some funny things that's going on, and I know that. And it seems to me you guys are all covering for each other.
Well, what I can tell you is that if you feel like there have been victim rights that were violated, that you had certain rights and that you feel like they were violated, whether by our office or by the court or something like that, there is a procedure to file something with the court for a victim rights violation claim. And if you would like, I could mail you the paperwork for that.
Please.
That's something you would like.
Yeah, I would like to, because I truly feel, since you guys he wants to label me as a victim/witness, then at the end of the day, like I said, I've been through this before, and I know how victims advocates and witnesses work. I've been through this, so the things that didn't happen to me is wrong. It was a violation of a right, and that's a violation of a victim and a witness right, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to inform me, let me know that I'm a victim to a case and a witness to a case, and you guys are supposed to willingly give me the information and and help me proceed through the criminal case. I shouldn't have to wait a week and a half prior to him going to trial to actually have a supposed advocate that was really never my advocate since the beginning of the criminal case. And Douglas Hanson himself even said in the conference that he knew where I was, he knew where I was staying, so therefore he's the one that looks stupid in front of you because he told you that he didn't have any contact information, but then here he is in a conference telling you, oh, we sent subpoenas and I know you're still providing in Portland, and he knew how to get a hold of me, but he didn't. He chose not to because he didn't want my voice to be heard, and that's wrong. And at the end of the day, I would like for you to send me the information so I can file a victim's violation of my rights, because my rights was taken because I never had a victim's advocate from the beginning of my husband's criminal case.
Okay. Are you still getting mail at the address 3181 23rd Avenue Northeast, Apartment C 112 in Gresham?
Yeah, it's funny how you guys have that address but don't have
Well, you
contact.
gave that to me on July 1st.
Yeah, I gave it to you, but Douglas Hanson had it too, because how did he send me a subpoena if he didn't have an address? See what I'm saying? He's getting himself caught up in all these lies, and I used to be a compulsive liar, so I know when somebody is lying, and he's lying all throughout his reports, and it's obvious, and he messed up by letting us be together. There's nothing he can do now, but the truth will come out.
Okay. So I'm going to mail you this packet, and there's two things in there. There's the actual paperwork you fill out, and then there's a couple pages of instructions. And so I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give you legal advice, but I can tell you kind of read through these instructions, and it'll kind of explain what the rights are, the constitutional rights in the state of Oregon, and then it'll kind of explain to you what the procedure is for filing that with the court, okay?
Okay. So one more thing. So my husband kind of really don't have a victim, huh, since I'm listed as a witness?
Well, it looks like in the judgment you're not formally listed as a victim. The only spot that I saw a mention of your name is where it says that he's allowed to have contact with you.
But his PO said that I'm a victim to his case, so that's what I'm saying. The stories is
Well, the
everything.
PO has certain discretion as well. The PO can decide things even without the DA or the court agreeing. So some of that may be up to the PO to decide what they're going to do.
A PO, I mean, how can a PO just say that, oh, well, he can't, if the courts and if the court says I'm not a victim, then how can his PO justify that I'm a victim when he has nothing to do with the courts? It's the court.
Well, I'm not the PO, so I can't speak for them.
I guess. Well, I appreciate you talking to me, and I'll be looking forward to the victim's violation through the mail.
Okay, I'll put that in the mail today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.